Good morning and welcome to another pre-market review session with the Market Trader. My name's Ray, the Market Trader. And before we begin, we'll need to go through our obligatory risk disclosure. Okay, so let's take a look at this here. Okay, so again, just to remind everyone that the content that's being published and distributed by the Market Trader and its affiliates is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as investment advice and offered to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. Again, use of this information contained herein is to be used at your own risk, and the company, as partners, representatives, agents, employees, contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. We all understand that future trading does carry a fair amount of risk and is not for every investor. An investor could lose all or more of their investment capital. Only risk capital of money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle should be used for trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation or an offer to buy, sell futures, options, or Forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so now that we've gotten through the risk disclosure, we're going to go ahead now and turn our attention to the news, okay, and understand what in the way of news today could have maybe some potential impact on the markets. Okay, so we'll go ahead and move to our financial portal here and take a look at that. All right, so let's take a look at. Just to confirm here as everything's visible. Okay. All right. So fair amount of news today. Okay. So we have the ADP employment change report. We have U.S. trade balance coming in both at 8:15 and 8:30 a.m. Eastern, respectively. We have initial jobless claims as well as some labor cost and productivity, U.S. productivity coming in at 8:30 as well. Okay, we have continued jobless claims also coming in at 8:30 a.m. as well. Okay, then we have the PMI report, service PMI, and the composite PMI coming in at 9:45 Eastern, and then we close out sort of the series of news events here with ISM services and ISM service employment coming in at 10 a.m. And then for those crude oil traders, we have crude oil coming out at a slightly different time here around noon Eastern time. Normally, this report comes out at around 10:30 Eastern. Okay, looks like that has been delayed until noon. Okay. And then we close out the day here with some members of the Fed, Fed Williams speaking, as well as Fed member Goolsbee. Okay. All right. So again, fair amount of news that could potentially impact the markets. So we obviously need to be cognizant of that and take that into consideration on the timing of any trades that we end up taking in the markets. All right. So now that we've gone through the news, let's go ahead now and turn our attention to our trading platform. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start off with our normal market here, the gold market. All right, and we'll just take a look and see what kind of context we can get from the market. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the daily chart. Okay, so looking at the daily chart, we're going to go ahead and remove some of our drawings here. Okay, and you can see that the market has been in a very steady state over the last week and a half, okay, to the upside. Okay, so again, very healthy auction here to the upside. We have developing a kind of an inside candle here at the moment that's obviously bearish, okay, but still very much inside a bullish channel here to the upside. Okay, so while we are maybe on the top end of the channel, we could easily come back down, say to say 34, 35.50, and still be well within the channel here. Okay, so a slight pullback actually to some degree is well received and indicates market health. Having the market move in one direction, either to the up or to the downside, as you know, is not sustainable. So having kind of a staircase kind of advance in this case is actually welcomed. Okay, it indicates somewhat of a healthy market. Nonetheless, right now it does appear that we are a little bit bearish. Okay, given this candle that we are currently developing here in the markets. Moving down to the 4-hour chart. Okay, looking at the 4-hour chart, we're going to go ahead and turn off our initial balance range. Okay, we're going to actually open up our visible range volume profile here. So we're going to open up the visible range volume profile here on the right hand side. Okay, just to get a sense of what kind of value area here that we have developed, whether it's above value or not above value and that sort of thing. So we'll adjust this. I'd like actually, it's probably a good exercise. So the value area, I'd like to personally draw it in yellow. And I'm really not, oops, that's not the one I wanted to do here. And really what's outside the area here is, while it's important to understand whether it's inside or outside value, I kind of like drawing that in sort of a gray. Okay. And then what I'm really interested in is understanding whether we are inside value or not inside value. Okay. Point of control, I'm going to go ahead and draw in as red. Okay. That's the area where the highest volume of, the most volume, the price has generated the most volume. Okay. So let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and close that off. So you can see that we are well above value. Okay. Again, giving us an indication here that we remain in a very relatively healthy upside market at the moment. I would say this 35.40, 35.45 it does carry a little bit of importance to me, because that represents the high end of value. Okay, so I would expect that this area right around this 35.47 level could offer us maybe a location, for maybe a possible execution, a possible bounce in the current market that we're in. Okay. So, so again, we're seeing a little bit of some bearish. We did break a little bit of structure here to the downside. We've come back to that same level to see if there is a continued participation in, or maybe continued participants in this direction that is currently in, which is currently down. Okay. So we've identified a level here on the 4-hour chart that would be of interest, I guess, for maybe a possible execution here to the upside. Market again continues to be in some sort of bullish structure here. Even if I were to maybe narrow this channel here closer to the activity, we still remain in the bullish channel. So this again, even the series of bearish candles here really hasn't broken any structure to the downside that could cause me to believe that we are maybe potentially going from a bullish market to a bearish one. Okay, let's go ahead now and take a look at the 30-minute chart. Let's get a feel for what the 30-minute. We'll maybe take a look at some across the sessions here and see. Okay, now as we move down to the lower time frame, you are starting to see maybe a little bit in the way of some bearish structure here. You did see, we're kind of zooming in on some of these 4-hour candles, and you can see that we have indeed, broken some structure here to the downside. Okay, so we have, kind of a series of lower lows and lower highs. We broke below this, I guess, 3,600 level. Price remains below our VWAP, which is kind of an indication here of maybe of a general bearish sentiment in this market. So it would not be out of the realm of possibility here if we do have maybe yet again another leg here to the downside, maybe back down to this 35.80 level. Okay. before we see any sort of turn in the market and maybe a continued advance. Okay. So as long as we stay below VWAP, I would say that my view would remain on the shorter time frame, that maybe there is some opportunity here, maybe to the bearish side. All bets are off on the bearish side. If we start to develop some structure here, and we get price above our VWAP, that would be kind of offer me, I guess, more evidence that we are indeed in a market that maybe could continue to the bullish side. Okay, we're going to now we're going to go ahead and remove some of our drawings here. We're going to take a look at this market more from a volume perspective and initial balance perspective. So the first thing that I'm going to take a look at is what kind of participants do we have currently in the market. Okay, and starting off with the Asia opened with an attempt to make to go higher that was met with some sellers and was managed to drive price all the way down to 35.73 before it found some buyers, and now at to find its current pricing. So fair number, I would say, fair number of sellers in this market in Asia. Okay. Looking at this from a London perspective, we'll go ahead and take a look at London and see how that compares to London. And also London, okay, you can see that we were kind of hovering inside initial balance. We made multiple attempts to move higher. It was not met with any sort of was met with sellers, okay, but these sellers were not really that strong to drive price or to drive price further lower. Okay, if anything, it managed to stave off any sellers that were looking to drive price lower. So that kind of speaks maybe that there is maybe some underlying strength in this move here back at the start of London. Okay, the fact that we are able to hold above here is could it be an indication here that maybe there are some participants that are collecting or adding to their portfolio at these prices here around the 3,600 level, and maybe looking for maybe another leg to the upside. If that's the case, then we have some visual targets above us. We have this 3612 level, maybe as high as 3620, and then ultimately back to the highs of yesterday here at 3630. All right. So headed into the session, while I am overall, I would say on the higher time a bit more bullish. On the lower time frame, I am seeing that we are seeing some structure here to the bearish side. And again, I would say maybe taking a look here at the fixed range volume profile here and getting a sense for where price is in relation to yesterday's price action is in order here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. All right, so you can see that price is below value. Okay, so indicating that people are willing to pay a little bit of a premium to be part of this market to the downside. Now, we obviously have found some sellers here. Okay, we've had some sellers here step into the market. Now, whether the question now remains is, do they have enough participants to continue this advance that we've been seeing on the higher time frame, both on the daily or the 4-hour chart? So right now, I would say until price can get above this VWAP, my view, at least on the shorter time frame, is bearish. Okay, in this market, I feel like there is maybe one more leg here to the downside, maybe a revisit of this level down below here around 35.75 before we see maybe a return to maybe some bullish price movement. Okay, assuming that we do get a break of this initial balance here to the upside and we close above VWAP with some volume, then I would be maybe more of a view. My view would change to more bullish. Okay, I would say that this 3,600 level, the level that is currently in right now, it is a relatively important level. And right now, my guess would be more if price remains below 3,600, I would be more of the bearish view, and if it's above, I would say more of the bullish view. Okay, so I have kind of a line in the sand here around 3,600, which also happens to be the point of control as well. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead now and take a look at the crude oil market. We'll see what the crude oil market has to offer here. We're going to go ahead and remove some of our drawings here. Okay, we'll remove drawings. We'll start off with the daily chart. And again, we continue to offer, kind of some bearish price action here. We close the day rather bearish again. Okay, and in otherwise kind of down or bearish structure. Right now, we're kind of challenging 63. Maybe 62 will be another area that we eventually challenge and maybe continue to advance here lower. Okay. Right. So daily chart really not giving me much indication that the bulls have any sort of stronghold in this market. I do see that maybe we do have some bullish participation, or starting to see some bullish participation in anticipation of the EIA report, which could offer maybe us maybe an opportunity here to the upside. But right now we are continue to be in bearish structure in an area of demand. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw this area here because I am seeing a little bit of reaction away from the 63.38 level, or maybe 63 in general. Okay, we're going to go ahead and mark this level in green. Okay, indicating that this is a supportive level. Right, so if price manages to stay above this level and break maybe above 65.70, well, maybe we could be in for maybe a much more concerted bullish move in this market. But until then, I would say that the daily charts continues to show some signs of bearish sentiment. Okay, so let's go ahead now and move into our 4-hour chart. Looking at our 4-hour chart again, we're going to go ahead and turn off our initial balance here for a moment. Just get a sense here. Again, you can see that we've tested this level here at around 63 multiple times. Okay, we broke, we came back. 63 was supportive, made a new high, came back. Now we're at 63 again. Is this level going to offer yet another opportunity for maybe a move to the upside? Certainly possible. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and open up our ADR here. I don't know, and see where we are with respect to ADR. Looks like we are right at the average daily range for the day. Okay, so again, a logical level for price to potentially reverse away from and continue with what appears to be in some sort of range here on the 4-hour chart. Moving down to the 30-minute chart. Okay, again, we are starting to see some candles here. We're starting to see maybe that we are maybe looking to break some structure here to the upside. So looking a little bit, I would say a bit more bullish. Okay, so I'm looking at this kind of channel here, and I see that we've broken to the upside here. Okay, so we had a bullish engulfing candle. All right, and then now we have a candle that's breaking this channel here to the upside, which could open the door for us maybe price to maybe come back to 64 from the bottom here. Okay, price does appear to be above our VWAP, again giving us another indication that that we are maybe starting to see some bullish price action. Okay, we're going to go ahead and add settlement to this discussion here and see where settlement is in relation to all this price movement. And we're going to go ahead and color that in some sort of color here that stands out. We're going to go gold, maybe make this a little bit thicker here so we can see it. Okay, so it appears that settlement is above. Okay, so we had settlement above here around 65.59. Okay, so that could maybe offer a target for maybe this swing in the coming session here. All right, so let's take a look at fixed range volume profile. Let's see where price is in relation to yesterday's price action here. So we're going to go ahead and do this here. Okay, so you can see that still price is still we have price still below value. Okay, indicating that there's still bears are still somewhat in control of this market here. Although this value range, this value area low, presents us a nice logical location for maybe a continuation trade, right? So the idea here would be if price manages to come up to the 63, the 63.80 level, this could be an area for maybe a continuation move here to the downside. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see if we get some price action to indicate just that, right? Is this area going to offer us maybe a location for a continuation move? Now, if we do, accept back into value, well, then that opens the door for price to get above, right, to either 64.40. That would get us close to this top end of value, and then ultimately maybe to the start of the session here, yesterday's session. Okay, back to the highs of yesterday, right around 64.70, 64.73. Okay, so yeah, so right now I would say we have our settlement price above us. It would seem reasonable for me that we at least have the participation to get us to 64. That's settlement price. That's also a point of control here of this fixed range volume profile. So I would say that maybe on the shorter term that I would say overall bearish in the market, but I do see that maybe there might be an opportunity here for price to at least get up to 64 before we see any sort of continuation move here to the downside. Okay. Let's go ahead now and take a look at the equity markets. We'll start off with the NASDAQ. All right. So again, NASDAQ appears to be continuing to be in this consolidation pattern of late. Okay. We're going to go ahead and turn off our average daily range here for a moment. Okay. So you can see that we are in some sort of consolidation pattern here. So again, kind of some sort of triangle pattern, kind of a symmetrical triangle pattern again. So the question always comes up is, where could price go? Well, if we take the measure here, right? If we take this measure here, well, if we use this, well, to the downside, closer to the apex of this move, well, that would lead us back down to 22,000, right? If this offers us maybe an upside move, okay, then we're looking at close to 24,800. The question is, while I don't know necessarily the direction of the move, I do have a feel for the overall magnitude of the move. Okay, so and it's relatively significant. We're just taking the width of this or the mouth of this triangle pattern. Okay, let's go ahead now and move on to the 4-hour chart. Kind of drill in onto some of these daily candles here. So you can see that over the course of, say, maybe the close, maybe into Tuesday, we have started to create some structure here to the upside. We're beginning to break some structure here above. We have this anchored VWAP from a few days ago, kind of showing that maybe price is above that as well. So on the 4-hour chart, okay, I could see that we've maybe starting to break some structure here to the upside, and maybe offer us maybe a leg back to, say, I don't know, 23,700, which would be kind of the top end of this channel that was created by that triangle pattern that we saw on the daily. Okay, let's go ahead now and move into the 30-minute chart. We'll take a look at some initial balance, some fixed range volume profiles here, and get a sense for where we're at. Okay, so looks like we've come into some sort of resistance level here that's been drawn earlier. Okay, so this 23,520 level has been an area that has been met with some resistance. We've reacted away from it once, reacted away from it a second time, reacting away from it from a third time. But what's interesting is that with each attempt has been met with less sellers. Okay, so we had this attempt, relatively strong move back to the downside. Again, another attempt, move back to the downside and kind of reach settlement. And now, again, we're at this level. It looks like it wants to pull back again. But the idea here is that with each move, with each reversal, the magnitude of that reversal is been a bit muted here. Okay, so it could be an indication that maybe we are developing a little bit of structure here for maybe a potential move to the upside. Okay, you can see that the slope of this current move is to the upside. All right, on the shorter time frame, we are above our VWAP. I'm going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile and get a sense for where we are based on yesterday's price action, where we stand here. Okay, the close of the session here, right about there. Okay, so you can see that we are above value. Okay, indicating that there's a fair amount of interest in taking this market to the upside. We've had kind of this 25 to 23,520 level serve as kind of an area of resistance. Price is above our VWAP, above settlement. above value from yesterday. So all indications are that maybe there is some further upside possibilities in this market. The question now becomes, what are some areas that we could participate in? Well, we have VWAP, okay, that could offer us, but VWAP of late has been kind of price has been overlapping VWAP to some degree. Let's go ahead and take a look at our fixed range volume, initial balance here. And I want to get a sense here of, okay, London made an attempt here to go higher. Looks like that's been received. That's been rejected. So there's a possibility that we could rotate right back into maybe through the initial balance range of London and take the market back here, back down to 23,454. And that would be kind of more of the neutral range variety that we're currently seeing in this market. Okay. If we look at Asia here, Asia, we're going to go ahead and open the Asia session with respect to initial balance. Okay, so Asia again was not really able to take the market higher. Again, that's that first attempt at trying to get above 23,518 or 520, and that has been rejected. Right, so we had one attempt. Was kind of rejected back to settlement price, and now we had a second attempt that's also being rejected back again, more of the London move. So I would say that headed into the session, it does appear that maybe we are maybe in a little bit of range. Certainly that's the case that in the prior couple of sessions here. I would say that maybe this opportunity down here at 23,452 might be an area maybe to look for an opportunity to the upside. I see that there is a little bit of demand. I do see that that is a area of maybe some price, maybe some demand. Okay, based on some of the price action that we're seeing there. We have settlement price, we have point of control here, so it would not be out of the realm of possibility, and to kind of maintain this sort of this consolidation nature that I'm kind of currently seeing in this market. Okay. So I would say that right now, I would say that I would say maybe a little bit neutral given the overlap of candles that we're seeing here. I do see that we are at a level that could cause price maybe at least to come back down here and maybe revisit maybe point of control before it maybe decides to head higher. Okay. At the current moment, I would say that I'm probably more interested in maybe participating in this market to the downside until I get to some sort of lower level, and then potentially look for maybe a reversal that would support the neutral to range kind of sentiment that I currently have. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the ES. We're going to go ahead and start off with the daily chart. Again, we can see that we are in some sort of a consolidation pattern, similar to what we were seeing in the NASDAQ. Okay, this seems to be a bit stronger, I would say. Okay, it appears that we are in some much stronger move here to the upside in the ES, but nonetheless, it is the momentum to the upside does appear to be slowing a tad. Okay, we are seeing some evidence of continued support or continued interest here to the upside with the buying wicks. Okay, moving down to the 4-hour chart, we're going to take a look at the 4-hour chart here. Again, we're going to go ahead and turn off some of our ranges here. And you can see, again, again, further evidence of maybe some price action of late here that is bullish. Okay, we are coming into an area here around, I don't know, 64.80 that could be resistant. It has been resistant in the past. So until this area above, if we are unable to get above 64.85, it's not out of the realm of possibility that we could see some sellers step into the market and potentially drive the market lower. Okay. On the downside, I would say that the 63.85 level, 63.82, does appear to be supportive. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw a little line here. This seems to be a supportive area. We've come to this level once, we've come to the level a second time, and that has been received with some more buying. Okay, so we have a good amount of volume that came in with this candle here. Okay, and but that didn't really generate any more interest here to the upside. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see as we move into the New York session on whether we continue our current upside move. Okay, All right, let's take a look at the 30-minute chart. Okay. We're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile here. We're going to start with the Wednesday session here, start here, and that drag that across to the close. You can see that there's still a little bit of interest here to the upside. We're seeing that maybe it's having a little bit of issue here of making higher pricing, seeing a little bit of overlap, okay, in the candles, and starting to see some signs that maybe their momentum to the upside is slowing here a bit. Okay. We've already been off of settlement. This current candle hasn't really closed there yet, but this current candle is beginning to challenge VWAP to the upside. Again, could offer us maybe a revisit of this value area high here. Okay. This is kind of an interesting area. We managed to get above it. We came and retested it a couple of times, but really haven't been able to advance here all that much. Okay. Again, this 64.72 level here on the left-hand side does appear to be somewhat resistant. I'm going to go ahead and open up my ADR levels. So ADR levels are not into play here. We still are kind of in the middle of the range. So we can go in either direction here. Right now, it does feel maybe a bit more bearish than bullish at this point, given this kind of range price action and sort of the development of these last couple of candles. So I would say that headed into the market, it does appear that maybe we are looking at a little bit more bearish price action, certainly on the shorter time frame. It'll be interesting to see if we do manage to close back inside value. That would then definitely open up the door, maybe to get down to this ADR low here around 64.30. Okay. So it'll be interesting to see how price reacts around settlement and value area high. But right now, I do see maybe a little bit of a slowdown here to the upside in the upside auction. Okay. Let's go ahead and review our the Dow here, and then we'll just make one little final pass across all the markets here. We're going to go ahead and turn off ADR here for the moment. Okay, so similar kind of view here. Again, we do appear to be in some sort of consolidation range in this market. Okay, again, another triangle pattern that's developing. This kind of has a lot of the look and feel of the ES. The Dow does. Okay, so we had a nice advance in this market, and now we've kind of moved into some sort of consolidation range. A little bit of indecision on the upside bullish market that we've been in, but we haven't really made any serious attempts or been able to have any sustained selling. Okay, every time we've sold, it looks like it has been bought up, and we continue to grind higher. Okay, so let's go ahead now and take a look at the 4-hour chart. Again, kind of zooming in on these candles, you can see that the lower end of this is pattern here. We remain above it. Okay, this demand zone has been for now been respected. We've gotten some reaction away from it. So again, giving us some indication that there's still a fair number of bulls in this market. Okay, we had a nice move to the upside, and this kind of felt more kind of a retracement here, came back down to an area of support, and so far has kind of offered maybe another opportunity for maybe another leg to the upside. Moving down to the 30-minute chart. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take a look here. So we're kind of hugging the close here, or the close of yesterday's settlement price here. Price is above our VWAP, but not really impressed with the auction here to the upside. Seeing a lot in the way of wicks above me. In here, take a look and see where price is in relation to that. We are inside value. Okay, so probably the week of the three markets, right? We did make an attempt to get above value. That has been rejected. So it does appear that maybe we are entering in maybe in some sort of bearish structure here in this market. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take a peek here at initial balance, but I expect based on this price action that we seem to be in some sort of range. So here we are, Tokyo inside a range, London also looks like is some sort of range. Okay, so kind of neutral price action at the moment. We are getting some reaction off the highs that could offer us maybe some maybe downside opportunity, and that would kind of offer us more kind of range kind of price action here. Okay, so as long as we can't get above, say, 45,325, I would say that my view of this market is that maybe we will continue to maybe make a move here to the downside. I am seeing some rejection candles here. Okay, now followed by some engulfing candle. So that leads me to believe that maybe there is some more opportunity here to the downside, or we continue to kind of range in this price action. Well, before we close the session, we'll do one final pass across all these markets just to get a sense of how things are progressing here. Okay, so again, you can see that gold is having trying to move higher. Every attempt that's been to head higher has been met with some sellers. So I would say that at least on the shorter time frame, I'm certainly maybe looking at maybe some possibilities to participate in the short side. I do see that we are in some sort of bearish structure here. So I would say on the shorter time frame, it does appear that it wants to head lower. Now, if price does manage to close above VWAP with some volume, then maybe my view can change here. But right now, given these wicks, even though we are seeing a little bit of a bullish price action of late, I'm seeing these wicks can indicate that sellers are still very much present in this market. Looking at the crude oil price action, we had a nice bullish. We had that bullish engulfing here in the past, and that didn't translate into anything of significance. We have another bullish candle that's developing here on the 30-minute. And we'll have to see how well this closes in the next couple of minutes here. Does it offer us maybe some indication that maybe we are some bullish maybe potential in this market? But nonetheless, we still remain in some bearish structure. So we'll need to monitor this over time, see how well we close above the initial balance range to maybe provide in this market. Okay, looking at the NASDAQ. So again, we on a bullish structure. It's been kind of buy the dip kind of market so far. And until we can get maybe some solid price action below, say VWAP below, say 23,450, then I would say that's kind of what appears to be kind of buy the dip kind of market here right now in the NASDAQ. ES. Also giving us kind of an impression here that we are above value, also getting some reaction away from VWAP, also giving us some indication that is maybe a possibility of continued movement to the upside. If price manages to close below, say 64.60 and maybe close back inside, we can maybe rotate back inside the range, maybe to a low of 64.37. Okay. If we manage to hold above VWAP and maybe break above that was been created here in London at 64.70, we could be in for maybe another leg to the upside. Okay. And then ultimately the Dow, okay, looking at the Dow equity markets, price has not been able to get above value, some sort of range, and remain inside of the value area from yesterday, which could indicate for more range price action and maybe a possibility for a leg down, at least down to 45, 157 before we see maybe a upswing in this market. Okay, so we'll go ahead and close this session off as we close most sessions. Trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader.